Andy from North Bristol, not far from me. And just hello to everyone. So, folks, do please keep chatting throughout our rehearsal. And a very, very good evening to you all. So we're going to make a start. And give me a hand, folks, as we go. Wonderful. And a very, very good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me tonight at our rehearsal. It's the bass rehearsal in week 3 for the Cappella Wonders course. Now, this is the last sectional rehearsal for this course, but it's not the end because, of course, we still have the dress rehearsal and the subsequent performance of the recordings when that all comes together in April. I can't wait to hear all of that. Of course, you're going to get a very special treat. You're going to have both Nigel and myself conducting separate performances, and I genuinely think we're going to end up with possibly the largest recording of the Allegri Miserere and the Crucifixus ever attempted, which itself is going to be really rather remarkable. Now tonight, folks, we're going to be looking at the beautiful If Ye Love Me by Thomas Tallis. So that's the first half of our rehearsal. I've then got a long list of one comment to look through for the Allegri Miserere, plus anything else that you want me to cover tonight. And then we'll sing through the Crucifixus and the Locus Iste, and then that will be it for this course. As I say, with the exception of the small matter of recording and the concert. And do remember, of course, next week we are starting Handel's Messiah for a second time, an opportunity to revisit and build on everything that we did last year. And I'll say more about that later on. But for tonight, I think we should get started, basses. And if I can invite you all to stand. I'm speaking to basses, but of course we are joined by many, many special guests, many errant altos, sopranos, tenors, and a mixture of all of them. So you're all very, very welcome. So if you're up on your feet, that is fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. And if I could ask you, please, to stand with your feet a shoulder's width apart. Thank you. That's great. Give yourself a straight back and a long neck. And just start to take a few deep breaths in and out, everybody, just in your own time, in your own way. And of course, if you are not able to stand tonight for whatever reason, please don't worry about it, but give yourself that same straight back and long neck. And we'll all breathe together, everyone. Fabulous. Lovely. Deep breaths in and out. It's Friday evening, folks. Oh, my goodness. It's been a long week. So we're just going to blow away any tension, any stress. We've got a lovely piece of gentle Tallis to sing in a minute, so let's get in the right headspace for that. As we're taking the deep breaths in and out, we're just going to roll our shoulders around, everybody. Great stuff. Once you've rolled them in one direction, as always, roll them back the other way, please. Wonderful. Just loosening those neck muscles. Bring them up to your ears, please, folks. And as you take a deep breath, let your shoulders fall. Splendid. And just roll your head around. I see from the comments we're joined by even more people, so very good evening, Robert. Thanks for coming along, folks. Hello to Brenda. And people talking about the haircut situation. Oh, my goodness me. Yes. Well, you know, that's very much a COVID thing, isn't it? I wish I could get my hair cut, but it's going to be a while. So, yeah, the conductor hair is coming back. Right, everybody, let's do a bit of humming, shall we? So now we've got some low notes to sing tonight. The highest note that we've got to deal with basses is a C. So we'll warm up to that, but I'll do a little bit of deep singing as well. Now, if you remember, when we've sung low notes in the past, I've taught you this technique where you sing bzzz in order to relax your vocal cords and allow the deep voice to come out. So if you consider yourself a first bass, or if you consider yourself a lady tenor and you want to get lower notes, I mean, this works for pretty much everybody. I've never actually encountered a lady who practiced it all the way down, but you never know. We'll try it. So let's practice this technique first of all. You start on a note and you sing down the octave, and you sing to a bzz. And notice it's a vocalized zzz. It's not a bzz. It's a bzz, and we sing bzz, and at the bottom we drop our jaw and we sing ah. I'm going to put a bit of acoustic on and let's sing together. Here we go. A bzz, ah. Lovely. Let's try it again, starting on an A flat and a bzz, ah. Great, and a G and a bzz, ah. Lovely, F sharp and a bzz, ah. And one more for that nice low F and a bzz, Thank you very much indeed, basses. Now, just a little tip on that. In order to get the really nice, rich, resonant chest voice when you're singing your low Fs and Gs, remember to tuck your chin in ever so slightly to get that chest resonance opening up. It does help to kind of imagine you're talking that you're a headmaster, okay, and you're looking over the glasses and you're saying, "See me after school, boy." And that's where you get the chest voice from. Anyway, I digress. Let's do a little bit of singing and just warm up the top register. So let's try the pirate yo-hos. Could you just sing for me? Yo-ho-ho and yo-ho-ho. One more. Yo-ho-ho. And again. Yo-ho-ho. And final one. Yo-ho-ho. Repeated. Yo-ho-ho. Splendid. Thank you very much indeed. Well done, pirate basses. All right, so let's make a start tonight, please, everyone. Can we start by having a look at If Ye Love Me by Thomas Tallis? Thank you. And I'm just looking in the comments, lots of ladies saying, Lisa said, "Ha, I got down there." So you got down to an F. That's incredible, Lisa. I think you're definitely a bass if you can sing down there. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to sing, as I say, the beautiful If Ye Love Me by Thomas Tallis. As I said on Monday Basses, this piece is very much a case of Tallis writing in the Anglican style. He's one of these composers who had to change his way of working very, very quickly as the monarch changed and the state religion sort of shifted between Catholicism and Anglicanism. And so when a Catholic monarch was on the throne, he had to write music for Catholic services in Latin. And then when an Anglican monarch came on the throne, well, then he had to write in English and in this very, very plain style with one note generally per syllable. And so what we're going to be doing here, basically, is when you're singing this, and particularly when you're recording, I'm going to ask you to be really much led by the Tenebrae singers. And you'll notice they don't sing with a lot of heavy vibrato. They don't make it sound like a great big symphonic piece, because it's not. This is actually designed to be sung in somebody's drawing room, in somebody's kitchen, in somebody's living room. It's designed for really one voice per part. And even when we sing it as a choir, we need to keep that clear clarion sound, lovely and pure. So just to say, try and avoid going, "If ye love me." Okay, it's not the kind of piece to put lots and lots of shake in. You know, it's not Brahms, it's not Verdi. It's Tallis. So we want lovely, lovely long lines and basses. Remember that we are supporting everybody else. So when you're singing and when you're recording this one, keep it lovely, keep the notes lovely and long and smooth. All right, so let's have a look at the beginning. Now we're in F major here. As I've been saying to the sopranos and altos, this originally was written in C. Imagine, "If ye love me, keep my commandments." It was originally supposed to be in that key, but we're now singing in F, so we can sing it in 4 parts. Now, your first line, basses, I'll put a bit of acoustic on, because it always sounds a bit better when I'm in the hall. So your first line from the first bar goes, "If ye love me, keep my commandments." All right, so I'm going to do that one more time, and I'm going to click my finger to indicate where the beats are, because some of these notes are worth a little bit more or perhaps less than you're expecting. So it goes, "If ye love me, keep my commandments." Splendid, well done. So that last note on ments is worth 6 beats in total. All right, have a go at that with me, please, basses. And remember, when you're singing, before we do, this whole thing is to be sung with a smile, and certainly let the smile touch the eyes, as Nigel was saying, so we get that nice, bright, clear sound. So let's sing it together, basses. There's your line, or there's your note from the beginning. 2, 3, 4. If ye love me, keep my commandments. Fantastic, well done. So if you're not sure where to come off there, if you follow the soprano line, and as they sing, and I will pray, as they go up to the C, we stop singing our note on mince. All right? Fantastic. Now, this little figure, and I will pray the Father, starts to be sung by the other sections of the choir. And we come in then in bar 7, and we sing after 2. 1, 2. And I will pray the Father. All right, let's sing that together from 7 after 2. 1, 2. And I will pray the Father. Well done, thank you, basses. Just to say, when you're singing these long notes, particularly notes like pray, make sure you're dropping your jaws so we get that nice round sound, please. We want to go around the sound, okay? Now, bar 10, and he shall give you another comforter. And you can see from my mouth already what I'm going to ask you to do. Nice tall mouth. It goes like this, from bar 10, and 1. And he shall give you another comforter. Okay, and just be aware before we sing it, the note on give is 2 beats, and ter, as in comforter, is also only 2 beats there. So just be ready for that. So listen to it again, and he shall give you, and 1. He shall another comforter. Brilliant. There we go. So let's sing that together, and he shall give, and then we'll do the whole page. After 1, 3, 4, 1. And he shall give you another comforter. Great. From the beginning, please, basses. This is the first page all the way through, and we'll call this section A, and we sing this section just once. Okay, so from the beginning, there's your note. Any tenors, there's your A. Altos, there's your C. Sopranos, there's your F. And let's sing together. Ready? 2, 3, 4. If ye love me, keep my commandments. Very good. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter. Great, with that lovely beaming smile all the way through, basses. Fantastic. Now you get 2 beats to grab a breath, and you're going to need it because the next phrase is quite long. Also bear in mind, just as we're learning these notes, I'm deliberately teaching them to you a little bit faster, well, actually quite a lot faster than tenebrae singing, so you're going to need to use that deep breathing technique that we looked at last week, and also those of you that were with me for the Mozart Requiem, if you recall, that's the one where you have to take a deep breath, breathe out, pull your stomach in, open the mouth, relax your abdomen, and then breathe from the abdomen. A further tip to that, by the way, just as before we move on, is if you can make the breath as silent as possible, you'll find actually that also works rather well in terms of breathing from the diaphragm. So if you're still finding it tricky to really fill up and you're finding you're going, making a lot of noise with your throat, can I suggest open your throat up, okay, and breathe silently as if you're yawning. Okay, and just me saying the word yawn has probably got half of you yawning anyway, so apologies for that. Now, we're going to carry on at the top of page 2. We're now onto section B. Okay, first page is section A, second page is section B, and this piece is in A-B-B form, which means we sing page 1 once, and we sing page 2 twice. Okay, and so for those who are still learning to read music, it is after all a lifelong journey. If you look at the top of page 2, you'll see just before our note on that he, you'll see an extra thick line with 2 dots. That means that is the start of the repeated section. So when we get to the bottom of the page, when it says to go back up, we go back up to the very start of page 2. We sing all the way through the first time, and then at the bottom of the page basis you'll see the last 2 bars look a little bit different. They've got brackets over them, and the penultimate bar there has the number 1, so that means the first time we sing that page we sing to that bar. That's the first time bar, as we call it. We then go back to the top of the page, we sing it again the second time, and when we get to the bottom of that page, we ignore that first time bar, we jump over it and sing the second time bar instead. All right. Okay, fantastic. Just looking at the comments, everyone's very well. Lots of people saying, Susan's saying, this is the song that's been running through my head at night. Oh, well, that's wonderful. If they're going to get a song stuck in your head, If You Love Me, well, you couldn't ask for better, could you? Now, we're going to pick it up, basses, please, from bar 14. That he may bide with you forever, may bide with you forever. And again, it should just be so warm and so friendly here, so lovely. So have a listen. This is the start of bar 14, and we're going to go to the first two notes of bar 19. In fact, I'm just going to have a quick sip of drink. Please do hydrate yourselves if you can. Okay, so it sounds like this on the top of bar 14. So it's 3, 4. That he may bide with you forever, may bide with you forever. All right, so you've got two little phrases. You can breathe after the first forever, just snatch a breath, and then may bide with you. And the important words are obviously are he, bide, and ever. So we're going to lean into those a little bit stronger. Okay, have a listen to it again from 14. This is just on the piano. 3, 4. 2, 3. Thank you, basses. Let's sing that all the way through. Now, that note on the he that goes across the bar line, you can grow a little bit through that. Okay, we don't want too big a crescendos. Nigel's quite right. We don't want a sort of squeezy toothpaste sort of sound, but do crescendo through that note as it goes across the bar line. All right, sing with me, please, in bar 14. Nice deep breath. 2, 3, 4. That he may bide with you forever, may bide with you forever. Great. Well done, basses. Really, really very well done indeed. Now you get a beat to just grab a breath. Try the cold breath at that point. Drop the jaw. Okay, see if you can breathe silently. That's going to be much more efficient than this business. And then your next note, in the spirit of truth. Okay, and for some of you thinking, what on earth is he saying? Even the spirit of truth, but instead of even, we sing in, and instead of spirit, we sing spreet. Okay, and I've been making the same joke all week. This is what conductors do, but it sounds like a knockoff fizzy drink, doesn't it? In the spirit of truth. But you know, it is. This is how English was sung at the time, largely because too many syllables would have sounded too complicated. So a lot of this is about retaining that purity and that simplicity. And of course, this had an impact on music of the Renaissance, on the Baroque. And so you still get in Messiah, which by the way is coming back next week, plug. You get hem, one syllable rather than two. All right, so in the spirit of truth. Now it sounds like this when we come in the last note of 19. It's 2, 3. In the spirit of truth, the spirit of truth. All right, listen to it on its own. 1, 2, 3. In the spirit of truth, the spirit of truth. Okay, the first part of that, the first in the spirit, is I think quite straightforward. It's got a note tied over the bar, but otherwise it moves on the beat. But what follows bass is a little bit of excitement, bit of slightly offbeat singing. Don't get too carried away. The spirit of truth. Let's just sing that before we sing the first one there. So this is the last two notes of bar 21. You need to let the note, you need to let the beat rather land after spreet. The spreet of truth. Okay, if you feel that beat land, you can then bounce off it. Let's sing it together after 2, bar 21, third beat. Or 1, 2. The spreet of truth. Very nice. Thank you, basses. Let's go back to the start of your entry there. Bar 19, last note. In the spreet. Don't forget to smile for me. Ready? Nice deep breath. 1, 2, 3. In the spirit of truth, the spirit of truth. Excellent. Thank you, basses. And we've got a couple of spreets still to go. Starting on the same pitch, we have 3 notes, 3 beats rather, rest, and we come in on beat 4. So in bar 23, it's 1, 2, 3. In the spirit of truth, the spirit of truth. All right, listen to that again for me. Last note of bar 23. 1, 2, 3. The Spirit of Truth, the Spirit of Truth. Lovely. Okay, so let's sing that together, that last note of 23, and then I'll talk briefly about what we're going to do at the repeat, and then we can have a go at singing it all the way through. Okay, starting last note of 23, after 3. 1, 2, 3. In the Spirit of Truth, the Spirit of Truth. Lovely. Thank you very much indeed, basses. Do quickly hydrate yourselves. Hope everyone's all right out there. Lots of talk about spreets and a couple of nice emojis. Thank you, Nikki. Okay, everyone. So when we get to that first time bar, you notice you sing for the full length of the bar. Okay, it's a 4-beat note, and then at the top of the page you have to come straight in on a that he. So what I would suggest is you cut the long note slightly short and take a deep breath, and then what we're going to need to do, basses, is follow Nigel's suggestion and stagger the breathing in the second time that we sing it through, okay? Because what I don't want people to do is to sing the Spirit of Truth that he, and end up emphasizing the entry in bar 14. And this is something that choirs do, and it's always a surprise to them when you point it out. But when you're trying desperately to think ahead and take a breath, what ends up happening is you accidentally end up barking or even shouting the last syllable just before you take the breath. You might think, what? Something like, in the Spirit of Truth, the Spirit of Truth. Okay, and in case you think I'm mad, you next time, and it might be a while, but next time you're in a face-to-face choir rehearsal, just listen to what people are doing. There's a very good reason for it. It's all psychological. You're thinking, right, I've got a breath. I've got to snatch this breath as quickly as I can in order to come in on time. And so you're focused on your destination. And so what you then do is you think, right, in order to take a breath in, and this is all subconscious, this is all whilst you're all concentrating, hopefully, on what the conductor's doing and singing, you kind of dump all the air. It's a little bit like a plane dumping fuel before it lands. You know, you dump all your air and then grab that breath and then come as quick as you can. But what happens is you're dumping the air whilst you're singing, and so that last syllable ends up being amplified. And so what I always try and do is just to say to everybody, just be mindful of that, phrase it, okay? So phrase the singing, get rid of your air without making any noise, and then take the breath in, okay? So let's just practice that together. Let me give you an idea what that might sound like. So if I sing from the last note of 23, and this time we'll carry on at the top and we'll sing through. So this is bar 22. Let's go from the no, hang on. Bar 23, I was right. Bar 23, last note for the first time, and then we'll go back to the top of the page and we'll sing for the second time. So one more time, I'm going to sing from the last note of 23 for the first time. All right, so after 3, 1, 2, 3. In the Spirit of Truth, the Spirit of Truth, that he may abide with you forever, may abide with you forever. In the Spirit of Truth, the Spirit of Truth. 2, 3. In the Spirit of Truth, the Spirit of Truth. Excellent. Thank you so much, basses. Well done. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to sing that all the way through with our amazing Tenebrae singers. So you're going to have a really strong pair of basses there in your ear here. Please, if you do have headphones, you'll be able to hear those voices very, very clearly separated. So the rest of the choir in one ear and nothing but bass in your right ear. Sounds like, well, it sounds like standing in the bass section to me. So here are your notes, everyone. There is the bass note, tenor, alto, soprano, the bass note again. This is all about you tonight, everybody. Okay, nice deep breath. Here we go. And if ye love me, Deep breath.
And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter.
Huge breath.
That he may abide with you forever, may abide with you forever. In the spirit of truth, the spirit of truth. In the spirit of truth, the spirit of truth. That he may abide with you forever, may abide with you forever. In the spirit of truth, the spirit of truth.
3.
In the spirit of truth, the spirit of truth.
Bravo. Thank you very much indeed, basses. Well done. And if you've never sung that one before, I'm sure you'll agree it's an absolute gem, isn't it? So, so beautiful. And just those, for me, it's the descending line on that he may bind. The clashes created with that are just absolutely sublime. And the heart of it, well, it's just so, so gentle and so lovely, isn't it? Well done, everybody. Please do celebrate by having a sip of your drink. And let's turn our attention, please, basses, to this Allegri Miserere. And let me have a look at this extensive list of issues that you sent me, basses. With one issue on it. Now there's a couple of general points which I'll pick up as well, but so look, there's one thing that everyone's asked about, and if we can have a look, please, basses, at bar 52, which you'll find on page 6 of our PDF. And a lot of people have asked, and I think somebody in the bass section was asking, oh, Gary's saying they're singing Sprit. No, I don't think they are singing Sprit. It is Sprit, please. Okay? And I don't want Spreet. Okay? It's not Wallace and Gromit cracking cheese, Gromit. Sprit with a tall mouth, please. Okay? Fabulous. Simon said sung it many times, but not that slow. No, well, that's what you get with singing with Tenebrae. Okay? Lungs of steel. All right, now, so anyway, back to this, the business of this lovely Allegri. The question people have is about bar 52, and people are saying, is there a misprint in the score? There's 9 crotchets, and surely this is only a 4/2 bar, and so on. The thing to bear in mind, everybody, is that this has been written not for publication. Okay, this hasn't been printed so that it can be sent to be produced in an edition and sent out to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of singers. This has been produced in-house for Tenebrae to sing with. So we're very, very grateful to them for the score. And so what you'd normally see in your printed score at bar 52 is, rather than all these individual notes, you would just see a single note, a white note, usually with the lines. In fact, you can see an example of that in bar 51. It's called a breve. Okay, not a semi-breve, because that's half the length again, a breve. And what you'd have then is you would have the line, just the text written underneath, so you chant it, and you wouldn't be given any real indication as to the rhythm. So that's one of the reasons why this bar looks a little bit unusual. Secondly, this piece was written long before time signatures were a thing, and so Basically, I think this is just a way of tenebrae being able to very quickly be able to just pick it up and sing it. Now, for those of you who are sitting at home thinking, well, that's all very well, but it still doesn't make sense to me. If you think of the very first note of bar 52 as what we call an anacrusis or an upbeat, so think of it as incerta et occulta sapientiae tue manifesta. So think of it as incerta rather than incerta et occulta. I think that makes it a little bit easier, okay? So just put maybe a vertical line in between the two first notes to give you that sense of incerta, that certa is the strong beat, and then it does make a little bit more sense, all right? We'll go through that in a minute. That was one of the general issues. Now the bass issue, we have covered. Bar 52, that's it. we have covered the bass issue that just said bar 52. So why don't we have a little sing through just a couple of these sections? I just give you any advice that I can, but then we'll sing it through. And I just want to remind you, bassist, of course, that Nigel's rehearsals for this are all saved for you, and I would really recommend before you record that you watch his rehearsal at least once more, if not twice, because the detail and depth that he goes into is just unbelievable. All right, so now let's have a look at your opening section there, bassist. Now we have this wonderful, wonderful G, which starts it all off. And think about it, how often do you get to start a piece right down in your boots like this? Certainly something as strong as this opening here. Okay, we want a really nice, rich sound down there, and particularly when we go down to the F as well. So let's sing that together, shall we, please? From the start, after 4, please, basses. 2, 3, 4.
Secundum maniam misericordiam tuam.
Great. Thank you, basses. And so, as I said, when we were thinking about the Tallis, here again, this is early music. It's not the Bruckner. Remember in the Bruckner, we get that moment, that brief moment where we get to bring out the tone and a bit of bass vibrato, inestimabile, that big sound. Here, we still want to keep it. We want to keep the vibrato dialed back. We want to have lovely, long, sinewy lines, and to really enjoy the rumble of that low note. Fantastic, thank you. Now there's some plain chant that follows. Et secundum, need the acoustic for this. Et secundum multitudinem misanationem tuarum. More acoustic.
Tenda iniquitatem mea.
I've always wanted one of those. Okay, and then we follow along with the semi-chorus. So let's have a quick look at this. Amplius lava me ab iniquitate. Let's go through this line, shall we please? So this is bar 15. Simon's got a question. Getting the breath at bar 10 is challenging. Okay, well, that's a very good point. Before we move on, thank you for that, Simon. The whole thing, you can see from bar 7 to bar 12, there is nowhere to breathe. You just have to be able to stagger the breathing. And so the same advice really that Nigel gave last week. Breathe where you need to, but do it in a way that is subtle. Okay, when you sing along with the tenebrae tracks, you'll notice from time to time they take a breath, and you don't notice it in the full choir mix because they're doing it in such a way they're not going and coming crashing back in. The whole point is, if you can, remember when you're recording, to take a breath, to maybe even move your head away from the microphone. Because if you're there singing and you're singing diam tu, that breath will pick up on the microphone, but instead to just maybe pull away slightly. Remember to take a silent breath where you can, and then go all the way through. And if there are enough of us, and I know there will be plenty of us recording this, that breath will disappear into the mix. All right, thank you for that, Simon. Now then, let's try from, please, bar 15, amplius lava me ab iniquitate. All right, there's your note. Nice deep breath. Ready, 3, 4.
Amplius lava me, ab iniquitate mea.
Deep breath.
Et a peccato meo
Okay, fantastic. I got the word placement wrong in bar 25, but that's approximately how it should go. Tell you what, basses, let's sing this one along with the Tenebrae singers. Marvellous, marvellous singers that they are. Just let me get that up here. Take the opportunity, please, to have a quick sip of drink. I don't know about you, I find the low notes shake a lot more loose than the high notes. Right, here we go. So we're going to pick it up. So this is, if you're interested, this is 1 minute and 4 seconds through the recording, and we're going to pick it up at amplius. So altos and sopranos. There you are. All right. So 1 minute and 4. It might be a little bit on the loud side, this one, so just watch out. Here we go. Last couple of seconds of the tenors. And
Amplius lava me, ab iniquitate
deep breath. Fabulous. Well done, basses. Thank you. Okay, so that's basically the shape of those first 2 sections, and you know, musically, for the most part, they come back. It's just the opening of each section. And again, I'd say to you, if we had just have a look, for example, at page 4 there, which is the next one across, tibi soli peccavi. When you're practicing this, remember, practice the opening of each of the sections rather than singing all of it through. Largely because, you know, once you get off that first bar of each section, it does tend to follow pretty much in the same sort of shape, but it's the opening of each section. I always had to practice when I was learning this. As I've said, I had to learn it off by heart. The full 15-minute version in Latin to perform as part of the when I sang with the New English Orchestra. We went all around the country singing this, and I had post-it notes stuck up all around my room at university with the first 2 words of each of the lines. So I had ecce enim, and I had tibi soli peccavi, and all of the others, and so I could just remember how the section went. So if that's any use, well, brilliant. Let's have a look at the last page before we sing it all the way through. So again, this caused people a little bit of consternation. The good news for us basses is that, well, you'll see the 2 parts are largely identical, except the bottom line, that is to say the bass in the semi-chorus, because I'm sure you're aware that this last page is a combination of the 5-part chorus, which opens the work, and the 4-part chorus that has that top C in it. And so that's why there's 2 bass parts. The very lowest bass part on the score is the one that actually goes up. That's the first bass part. And the 5th line down, that first bass part down, is the second bass. Hang on. All right. So just say that one more time. The 5th line down on page 11 is the second bass part, if you like. And the lowest part, the lowest line, is the first bass part. So let's just go through that. Let's do the 5th line down. Okay. From bar 97, and let's just go through it for those who need it. So tunc imponent super altare. All right, so it goes like this. It's slower. 3, 4.
Tunc imponent super altare tuum vitum.
again. Tuck that chin under, giving that nice rich bass sound, the "see me after school, boy" sort of sound, and that will sound absolutely brilliant. And then the lowest line on that page, which is the bass part in the semi-chorus, it follows the same pattern except where the second bass goes down to the note. This line goes up here. So your line here, this is the very lowest line here on the last page, starting on that C. Anyone else? So alto. So if we pick up from the bottom, there's the bass, the alto, soprano, soprano, bass, tenor, alto, soprano, soprano, and the lowest line for the basses. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So really, in terms of the piece itself, that's pretty much it, basses. It's not to say that there isn't a lot of work to be done on it if you want to. I mean, remember that singing along with Tenebrae is a huge honour, but it's also a real challenge because they're all the very, very best singers in the world. And so what I'd say to you is, first of all, make sure you're enjoying it, okay? I've seen people on Twitter and so on saying, working so hard and it's such a lot to do. Just remember, we want you to enjoy every minute of this. So if it gets a bit tough, just walk away from it, go and do something else. Come back when you're feeling in the mood for it. It's the first thing to say. Secondly, listen to these recordings. Okay, in particular, note where the emphases are. Learn how the chant goes, and you'll really enjoy it. I mean, Mark has this fantastic rule, which I really admire. He says, when you come across a piece, this is our Mark Strawn, who's here in the comments. He'll probably pop up now I've said this. When you listen to a new piece, you must listen to it 10 times. Okay, and it's very specifically 10 times. Because if you don't like it the first time, well, on the 10th time, you'll certainly understand it a little bit better and you'll like it a whole lot more. Imagine if you had the time, now I'm not sure necessarily you do, but imagine if you listened to this piece a total of 10 times before you recorded it, you'd know it a lot better. All right, so just saying if that helps. What a chore, having to listen to the Allegro Miserere a total of 10 times, sung by the best choir in the world. Well, look, let's sing it from the beginning. With that all being said, there's bass, tenor, alto, soprano, soprano. After this, we'll sing some Crucifixus. All right, basses, but there's your note. I'm just going to give myself a bit of acoustic, because why not? And let's have some fun. All right, here we go, basses. Nice deep breath. And...
Et secundum multitudinem miserationum tuarum, dele iniquitatem meam, amplius slava me, ab iniquitatem ut iustificeris in sermonibus tuis et vincas, cum ecce enim in iniquitatibus conceptus sum, et in peccatis concepit me mater mea. Ecce enim veritatem Inceta et occulta sapientiae tuae manifestasti, asperges meis opo et mundabor, lavabis me super livem te albabor. Auditui meo dabis carium Sacrificium Deo Spiritus contribulatus, co-contributum et humiliatum Deus non despicies. Veni me fac Domine, in bona voluntate tua, ut edificentur muri, Tuum acceptavis sacrificium justitiae, oblationes et holocausta.
be honest, basses, I've been conducting that one all week. Obviously, I heard all of Nigel's rehearsals. I've heard that performance now dozens of times, and it never loses the magic. And I saw from Mark's comment as well, every time we start this one, wow, 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 because it's just the best. Well done, basses. Thank you so much. I hope that was useful. Now, let's just finish off the course, or finish off the teaching for the course, I should say, by singing through our final 2 pieces in the programme. So can I ask you, basses, please, to grab Crucifixus for me, please, by Lottie. Oh, thank you, everybody. Well done. It's as I said at the start, that really satisfying feeling of completing something that's taken a lot of work, a lot of effort. And it's when my family and I do a big jigsaw or something, that last piece, that honour of placing the last piece and pressing it in, and everybody steps back and goes, yes, I've got that feeling tonight, basses. It's very, very satisfying. So let's sing through this incredible work. And I'm sure many of you came along to sing on this course largely because of the Allegri Miserere. But for many of us, Crucifixus has been a bit of a revelation. Many people didn't know it before. And I think it could well be this year's Quanta Qualia when it's all put together. You know, that just wall of sound and that wall of emotion that moves us all. So basses, we start this, second basses lead off, and remember the very, very opening is very quiet. We don't want this to be aggressive in any way. Unlike most of the settings of Crucifixus, if you listen to Beethoven's, if you listen to Schubert's, to Mozart, you know, you get that stabbing, that aggressive violence, which is entirely appropriate, but actually Lottie's approach does away with the violence and just retains the beauty of the sacrifice and the tragedy of it. And so, you know, when we're singing this, it's designed to make us emotional. Oh, excuse me a second. I think I need to close this one. It's getting a little bit emotional out there as well. Okay, so when we sing this one, you know, we pour our hearts into it, and I can't wait to hear it all come together recording-wise. Okay, so here are your notes. Okay, that first clash, first and seconds, I'm looking to you to set the tone for everybody else. All right, so here we go. There's our second basses. I'm going to give myself some acoustic because, frankly, you're worth it, everybody. And I think, I'm not sure which part I'm going to sing. I'll see what moves me. Okay, everyone, here's Crucifixus. Nice deep breath, and 1. Thank you, basses. Well done. What a piece. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. And again, imagine the full choir, hundreds and hundreds of people, nearly 1,000 singers singing that. It'll be almost too much, almost too emotional. Ah, can't wait. Well done, everyone. So we have time for just one more, the fourth and final piece in our incredible program on this wonderful course. So will you join me, please, basses, and everyone who's joined us tonight? I see we've got tenors, we've got altos, we've got sopranos. We have actually a full choir here. So let's all sing together. Let's put that last piece in the puzzle all together, everyone. Finish with Locus Iste, and then it'll be time for you to record and look forward to singing this through with Nigel and myself in just a few short weeks. All right, so let me give you your notes. Of course, this piece is so evocative. I understand that another conductor, to name no names, has rewritten this, and my question is, why would you? Why would you rewrite something as beautiful and as essential as this? Because this place was made by God. It is inestimable. It is beyond reproof. The same thing could be said of this incredible space that we sing in. So although it's dedicated to the consecration of a church, I think in 2021 this is about our virtual space with our lovely virtual acoustics. So let's sing it all together, everyone, and enjoy yourselves. Locus Iste. Nice deep breath, folks, and
Locus iste Deo factus est. Locus iste Deo factus est.
I really couldn't think of a more appropriate way for us to finish the teaching for this gorgeous course with all of these just beautiful pieces than to finish it with that last chord of Locus Iste. Thank you ever so much, everybody. Thank you, basses, for all of your hard work. Thank you, everyone who's been coming along for the last 3 weeks. It's been an incredible experience. One of our shorter courses, without doubt, but I think it stands to perhaps be some of our highest quality results in the end. Can't wait to hear it all come together. And of course, thank you to all of you for being here. Now, I understand that people have enjoyed this course. The feedback we've had is that people like singing this a cappella stuff. So do watch out for stuff from us about this. We may well decide to do another one. So do look out for that. In the meantime, do consider joining me next week for Handel's wonderful, wonderful Messiah. Even if you sang it last year, the point that we're starting from this year is where we left off last year. So we have the incredible self-isolation choir and orchestra performance that we put out on May 31st. That is our starting point this year. And come along and just see everything that we have developed and everything that we've learnt over the last year. It's going to be an amazing experience. And then that amazing anniversary then on May 31st, Hallelujah Day, for our brand new recording. And if you're not able to join us for Messiah, well, we also have the summer school coming up in May, not that far away, and that'll be running throughout the summer with some absolutely amazing pieces, works by Morten Lauridsen. There's some John Rutter in there, of course. There's a wonderful week of Russian music, again with Tenebrae and some Rachmaninoff in there. And of course, there is O Fortuna by Karl Orff and much, much more besides. So do come and be part of that if you can. And then, of course, I'm conducting the Creation in September. So there's so much to do with self-isolation choir. You know, this is the place to be, the busiest choir in the world. So everyone, thank you ever so much, as I say, for being part of this course. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I will see you very, very soon, I'm sure. But in the meantime, take care, be well, and all the very best, folks. Bye-bye.